Okay, well, we should probably go ahead and start.
Okay, I agree. I'm not sure what everyone is looking at right now because my screen is probably showing something different than your screen. I have tried to put up the agenda, and maybe it's bigger now. I hope.
I have it too, and it says draft agenda only on the slide. Maybe you want to click to the next slide. Is that?
Will do.
Okay.
Yeah, I will. Hang on. I just saw your email coming in. I thought maybe somebody else was feeling like they were on the outside.
So welcome everyone. Thank you. Thank you mostly to Jeff for always keeping me organized on these agendas and invites. And with that, I think we could probably just do a very brief introduction across the screen. I'll just call your name, and my name is Kathy Wiley. I'm the chair of the Broadband Alliance of Mendocino County. And Tom.
Tom West with North Bay, North Coast Broadband Consortium.
Welcome. Jeff?
Jeff Tyrrell, the administrator of the Broadband Alliance of Mendocino County.
Una?
Hi, Una Workaba, representing Move 2030, Mendocino Opportunities for a Vibrant Economy.
Hi, Una, thanks. And is it Molly?
Megan.
Oh, my next one is, I'm maybe looking, I'm just moving across. Holly, Molly? What? You want to introduce yourself and where you're from? You're
Megan.
on. Okay, I'm going to move on. I have 6849838. I'm not sure who that is.
That's me. This is Emily with Assemblymember Jim Wood's office.
Oh, great. Hi, Emily. Thank you.
Hi.
Megan, I'm sorry. That's who I was trying to get. No wonder you were giving me that look.
I was, sorry. My name's Megan Honey. I am an AmeriCorps fellow working with the County of Mendocino.
Hi, Megan. Thanks. Katie. You're muted. Well, Katie is a long-standing board member and also a member of the Broadband for what, a decade? Jim.
Jim Moorhead, retired chair of the Broadband Alliance and still consulting member, I guess.
Definitely. Michelle.
You're muted.
Michelle Hutchins, County Superintendent of Schools.
Good morning, Michelle. Mary?
Yes, Mary Vischer. I'm working closely with Calvin in a sort of grassroots effort to bring high-speed, affordable internet to low-income families in South Mendocino County. And it was Calvin who invited me to this meeting.
Great. And Calvin?
Hey, Calvin Sandine from the Sonoma County Economic Development Board and Sonoma Mendocino Economic Development District.
Great, and I see we have Supervisors Ted Williams and John Hashuk on the line as well. Thank you for attending. Did I miss anyone? Okay, moving forward, I think you've all received a copy of the agenda. I have no words from the chair. We're going to move to updates from representatives, and I know that there are some time constraints, so let me know if you need to get off. So from Congressman Huffman's office.
Hi, this is Sheba Brown with Congressman Huffman's office.
Hi, Sheba.
Hi.
Good morning.
So I have some updates here. So a few things. The Broadband Data Act, which I know we've talked about before. I have some new updates there that even though it was signed into law on March 23rd, the FCC doesn't yet have funding, which looks like 65 million according to Chairman Pai that would be needed to implement the bill. Chairman Polo, and you all can hear me?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
Chairman Pallone with the Energy and Commerce Committee has said that the funding is included in the omnibus budget package, and hopefully that'll pass next week. The deadline for that budget is December 11th. And our office 11th, and we haven't seen the text yet. And just a reminder that that's the Broadband Data Act is just to provide granular map data for cellular, for broadband coverage overall. And I can give you more on that, but for the sake of brevity. And then some other general updates is that Representative Bruce Westerman, I believe that's Arkansas 4, has been selected as the ranking member for natural resources next year. He has been vocal about broadband needs in his district, and Congressman Huffman does have a working relationship with him. So hopefully we'll see some progress on the broadband front for the North Coast, and that overlap between broadband and natural resource jurisdiction. So the incoming Biden administration has also stated their intention to tackle some of the issues with broadband. And their plan specifies $20 billion for existing rural broadband infrastructure, tripling the funding for the USDA Community Connect grants to expand rural access, and pass the Digital Equity Act, which will require NTIA to create grant programs for promoting digital equity and digital inclusion, and build capacity for state-led efforts to increase adoption of broadband by residents. I would also reform the Lifeline program and provide federal support to, cities and towns that want to build municipal broadband.
Well, that's encouraging.
Thank you, Sheba.
Thank you. Any questions for Sheba? Great. Okay. I appreciate.
So I should
go
let
ahead.
the group know that Taylor Morrison of Senator Mike McGuire's office is in an all-day mandatory staff training and couldn't make it today.
And we don't have a report from her written, right?
I did not receive a report. I'm sure that one is forthcoming. I'll share it when available.
Thank you. And do we have any representative from Assembly Member Wood?
Emily is on the line.
Oh, great. Emily.
Yeah, that's me. I don't have a specific update. The legislature reconvenes in January, and I will bring updates as they come.
Thank you, Emily. And along those lines, I have made a decision with regard to the updates for legislation to cover the governor's executive order and its ramifications, rather than give a legislative update, because there really has been little progress in the last quarter with regard to broadband legislation. I mean, accepting those things that Sheba mentioned, and with limited exceptions.
This is Tom West. There is going to be legislation introduced next week from Representative or Senator Gonzalez. If you recall, Senate Bill 1130 last year. So this is sort of a kickoff from that. So you should be expecting to see something on December 7th.
Thank you.
Okay, looks like we have Supervisor Williams on the line.
In trying to determine where we have FirstNet, my conclusion is maybe nowhere. At the appeal for a cell tower near Willits to the Board of Supervisors, AT&T talked about that this may be some of the first FirstNet service. I've asked for a map of coverage. The service is for first responders. In order for first responders to use it and rely on it, they need to know what areas are covered. And it's been a challenge. Our AT&T rep has been very helpful trying to get that data and trying to share maps, but the answer is basically that it's proprietary, and maybe at some point we might be allowed to see it and not save it. And Sheba has also tried to assist in determining what the terms are of the contract. As I understand, the contract itself may be confidential, and so are the data rates what was promised? Is the coverage what was promised? We don't really know because we don't know what the actual terms were. So I think we're still pursuing that, but I'm not holding my breath as it being a short-term fix. I have been corresponding with some folks who are using Starlink and apparently getting more than the advertised 100 megabits down and more than the advertised upload. And the latency is better than my Comcast cable on the coast.
Wow.
So I see that as the most viable. And this is with only 2% of the satellites deployed to date. I think they're just under 1,000 and the target is 42,000. Last I checked, they were expecting that the public release would be sometime in the spring. But just from the beta users, it seems phenomenal, probably a game changer for us, and probably will arrive before any other options. And then, I think we talked about this a little bit in different circles. I think we need to put on a workshop to help align our board of supervisors, planning commission, staff on what our strategic plan is and what the milestones are to get there. We see that copper is probably not a long-term option, even for voice service, as fewer and fewer landline subscribers exist elsewhere that we're subsidizing and the infrastructure ages. We want to make sure that all parties are aware of how we plan to keep people connected, what the viable options are, and what decisions mean in translation to broadband service.
Ted, Jim Moorhead, are those beta testers that you've been talking to, are they in Mendocino County?
No, unfortunately not. And I know a lot of people in Mendocino signed up to be invited into the beta. I've been asking if any were successful. I don't know of any, but apparently there are some in California.
So,
thank you, Supervisor.
Go ahead. Are there other questions for Supervisor Williams first?
Much of what Supervisor Williams discussed will be lower on the agenda, will be revisited lower on the agenda. But go ahead with the questions.
This is Sheba. Actually, so Supervisor Williams, since we spoke last, I actually had a call like first thing this morning. So there may be some progress on the meeting front.
Oh, wonderful.
And taking a look at the map. So I don't have a schedule yet, but they are actively working on getting that scheduled.
Fantastic. Thanks so much for the help on that. And I think we're going to cover it later. Does the new MAP Act include FirstNet?
Right.